While in the blood, these deadly pork fumes hit the blood, wage a deadly attack against the powers of the blood to destroy sugar. Where they are successful, these deadly fumes destroy the power of the blood to metabolize sugar and to carry this metabolized product to the limbs of man. This, too, is evidenced when the nourishing blood of the limbs is overcome and replaced by the putrefying forces of pork flesh, necessitating amputations. These are conditions that many of you have seen. These facts are not theories, nor are the definitions which remain in the head of the thinker, but clearly put themselves before your eyes and nose. Kidney function is not spared, nor is the organ itself spared in many patients from the deadly attacks of the decaying fumes of animal pork flesh. These deaths, dealing fumes, which attack the kidney in carrying out their functions of eliminating waste products of nutrition or metabolism, can easily be identified. These fumes, even outside the body, when eliminated by the kidney, will even attack concrete and make it uninhabitable, where it is used as flooring on dwellings or passageways and alleys. Pork flesh in excess in the body will also show itself by curdling or forming clots in the blood. The blood loses its power to overcome the fleshy, earthly nature of this animal flesh. When lipid series are done on the blood, the presence of this animal flesh is expressed by medicine as triglycerides and cholesterol levels. The former, when condensed, become the latter. The transformed animal flesh in the body that the blood is unable to completely transform is given the name bad cholesterol. This is the substance that condenses and attaches itself and lays claim to the arteries as its home. This is a battle between animalizing and humanizing forces in the body that is constantly being waged. When the former prevails, life is expelled from the body. Death ensues. Chemical names in themselves will never give explanations to the struggle between the life forces of the body versus the animal death forces that enter the body through nutrition. It is a mistake to think that the animal flesh that one sees in the market is totally without forces peculiar to that particular animal. One would be sadly mistaken. When this flesh is taken into the body, its life is reconstituted. It's given new life. The new animal life must now be killed by man's metabolism, then humanized by the power of man's blood. It is a fact that what we eat manifests itself as our thoughts. We know that an animal is immoral in that he does not have the power to judge right from wrong. The power of judgment of right or wrong belongs to man. He is then said to have the capacity to choose to exercise or not exercise the power to be a moral being. The exercise of choice, moral or immoral, is either rewarded or punished by organized society. What is not recognized by present society, that there are animal forces of thoughts invisible to ordinary sights, prevalent in present times, that are able to come or to overcome the thought forces of man and make him helpless before their onslaught, and renders man an instrument of animal activity without conscience to do evil or commit immoral acts against his fellow man. It is important to mention this because it is important that we understand that is what is happening to children to cause them to commit such horrific acts as evidenced in present times in our schools. These acts can only be attributed to persons whose consciousness have been overcome by animal instinct. This is exactly what is happening in present times. In order that there can be a logical discussion of this crisis in the lives of especially children, I direct your attention to a lecture entitled The Balance in the World and Man, Lucifer and Ahriman. This lecture can be found and downloaded from the site rsarchives.org. Then do a search for this title. After reading this material, then a discussion can be had as to how intervention can take place to protect the children of our nation. This should be done now than later. This lecture will give us a forum for discussion. These disturbed children must be questioned with the right questions, and they themselves will give the right answers. The etiology of these diseases, coronary heart disease and diabetes, is in animal flesh. The consumption of more than 1 to 1 1/2 ounces of any animal flesh in a 24-hour period of time is in excess and pushes into the intestines where it putrefies. Its poisonous fumes then permeate the entire body. The result is a manifestation of these diseases. Of all the animal flesh eaten, only pork causes diabetes, as well as the above-mentioned pathologies. For example, kidney and limb destruction. All diabetic patients have one thing in common. They all are or have been pork eaters. Just ask them, and they will tell you. The cause of diabetes has been known for thousands of years, since the days and lifetime of the great Moses. On page 47 of a book, Nutrition and Stimulants, written by Dr. Rudolf Steiner, he says, above all, the eating of pork was forbidden in order to prevent diabetes, since pig meat makes proper utilization of sugar particularly difficult for man. Because of this fact, the health status of America, especially among African Americans and Hispanics, is critical. Members of these races consume large amounts of pork. 8 out of 10 people that I